That's an interesting question.
In a world where overscheduling and hustling is made to seem normal, I am on a mission to find purpose and balance for myself and my family. My name is Melissa, and you are watching My Intentional Life.
Hey everyone, welcome back for another video. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, you either participated in this video or you at least saw the post go out for question requests. We've had so many new people join our community here in My Intentional Life that I thought it would be really fun to do a new Q&A. I haven't done one for quite some time, and I just thought it would be a great way for everyone to get to know me a little bit better who is new to the channel, as well as those of you who are not new to maybe hear some answers to questions that you haven't heard before in my previous video. So honestly, I have not looked at these questions. I have no idea what is on here. I'm just gonna be scrolling down the list and answering as I go. If the questions are inappropriate or rude, I'm not even gonna give any attention to that. That's just not who I am, and that's not what this channel is about. So let's jump into it and see what you guys want to know. So the first question by N. Hartel is, what things do you do to relax and take time for yourself? This is a really hard one for me because it's really hard for me to do that, honestly. For those of you who are familiar with the Enneagram test, I am a number 1 with a 2 wing. So that means I am a perfectionist, I'm a doer, but my wing is the helper. I'm always the one that is out there trying to figure out what people need. I'm the one that is caring for people. I love caring for people. I love feeling needed. And so it's really, really hard for me to take time for myself, if I'm being honest. If I had to choose, take time for yourself and relax. This is gonna sound so lame, but just working in my planner. Or pinning things on Pinterest to do. See how ridiculous it is, friends? I can't even relax without like making a list or doing something. But honestly, planning for me is just, I don't know, I just get all of the things off of my mind, and I actually do feel refreshed at the end of that because it's not weighing on me. I'm not concerned that I'm gonna be forgetting things. I know that I have all of my people where they need to be, or at least I will when that time comes. And so it is refreshing for me. That's totally lame, but that's my answer. All right, the next one is by Frugal Post. And she asks, how do you feel about the multiple moves that you've had? Is it hard to meet genuine friends, etc.? So for those of you that don't know, we have moved quite a few times. My husband is in hospital administration, and so because of that, we have moved to 8 different states. We currently live in Kansas City. We have actually lived here twice. We lived here about 14 years ago now. And then left to go to another hospital, just, on our way up the ladder. He's never been fired. That's never the reason for any of our moves. It was always just working himself up the food chain. And so now we're back in Kansas City again, which we absolutely love because we are both Midwest people. I was born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. Sam was born and raised in Kimball, Nebraska, which is western Nebraska, close to Wyoming and Colorado. And there's just something about Midwest people. I don't know, probably just for us because we were raised here, and so that always feels like home. But yeah, so we have lived in 8 different states. But what I will say about that is, yes, it's hard. For anybody who has moved out of the state, you know that it is hard leaving your friends, leaving your community, leaving just what is comfortable. We get very set in our ways, and we get very comfortable in the places that we are. But with that being said, I think for me, being an introverted person, It has forced me to kind of get out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's forced me to have to make new friends. It has forced me to just expand in the spaces that I am and build community, because up until here, being in Kansas City, we've never had family in the same town as us. My parents actually moved here last August, which has been a godsend. But we have never ever had that prior to coming here. And so we have always had to build community in the places that we are, and our community has become our family. I will say that Denver was by far the hardest place to leave. Still to this day, there is just a hole in my heart for my friends there. If I start to talk about this anymore, I'm probably still gonna cry, because they are my family. And I talk to one of them almost every day. I have an app called Voxer, and it's like a walkie-talkie system. And she and I, we talk all the time. My other good friend, we schedule times to talk together, but yet text throughout the week. And I'm thankful for that, because it allows me to stay connected and to still feel a part of their circle. Their kids are my kids' best friends, even to this day, having been gone a year. But it hurts, it does. But I think what I have to remind myself is that everywhere that God has placed me has been a blessing. Even in places that were painful. Texas was really painful for me. I think I've said that on a few of my other videos, us just chatting back and forth with each other, like you're actually here. But Texas was really hard for me. But even in that moment, God took me there for a reason. He took me there to bring me closer to Him. He took me there to place me face first at the foot of the cross. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for every move, good or bad, because without all of that, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't know how strong I am today. I wouldn't know what I could go through if I had to. And so even though it's hard, and even though I sit here and get emotional about, being away from a specific state, I'm still thankful for every bit of it. I'm thankful for the move here, because had we not come here, my family wouldn't have moved here. My kids wouldn't be flourishing in the way that they are right now. And so with every door that closes, I know this sounds so cliche, but another one truly does open, and it's your choice how you are going to walk through that door. It's your choice whether or not you're going to be happy about the place that you're in. It's your choice whether or not you are going to just embrace the place that God has placed you and open your eyes to see why He put you there. What is He calling you to do? Next question is from A Bowl Full of Lemons. What is your favorite food, movie, music, color, book, hobby, drink, restaurant? Let's see. I don't necessarily have a favorite food per se. I have a favorite type of food, which is either Mexican or Chinese. I could eat either one of those all the livelong day. My favorite movie, oh man, again, it's hard for me to sit still. So that's hard. I really liked The Blind Side. I don't know. I like Sandra Bullock anyway, but just something about that movie, I always just really, really have a place in my heart for the underdog. And I don't know. I think the fact that that was a real movie, based on a true story, I liked that. But I would have to say that's probably right up there for me. My favorite music is country. I love country, and I love Christian music, so I kind of go back and forth between those. Although if I am running, friends, I am probably listening to rap or pop music. Yes, that's right. I said rap music. My favorite color is fall. But aside from that, honest to goodness, my favorite color is white. I love it because I can put everything with it. It never goes out of style. White is always and forever going to be in style, classy, clean, simple, and so for me, it's totally white. My favorite book, I would say probably the Bible. It's just, it has everything in there that I need to know, that I need to hear, that I need to see. It gets me where I need to be. And sometimes it spanks me when I need to be spanked. My favorite hobby is definitely organizing and decorating. I absolutely love that. I could do it all day long. I could do it as a hobby, as a business, anything. I love it. My favorite drink is coffee. My favorite restaurant, I like P.F. Chang's and I like Sinzetti's. So I guess those two are my favorite. All right, the next question is from, I'm gonna try to say this name right, Cora Sue's Cozy Castle. She says, I know that you said you have moved a bit in the past. I recently moved from the city I grew up my entire life, and I'm finding it difficult to make real friendships. Any suggestions? I have recently joined a church, so I'm hoping that helps. Thank you. Yeah, again, it's hard. I will say that for me, when I lived in Texas, I was very much a part of the MOPS community there. For those of you that don't know, it's Mothers of Preschoolers. And there were just tons of people my age that had kids my age. And so it was easy to kind of get to interact with other women who were going through the same season of life as myself. At that time, my kids were littler. My daughter was 2, my son was 4 when we moved to Texas. But then when we moved to Denver, I will say when we moved to Denver, it was a little bit easier only because there were people there that we went to college with. And so it was kind of easy to jump into an already created circle, if you will. But yet there were still some from there that we did not know, that we met when we got there, obviously. But I think if your kids are in school, just dive into that community at your kids' school. Kind of look and see whose kids are like your kids. Who are your kids hanging out with? Start asking those moms and those dads, hey, do you want to hang out on Saturday night? Do you want to do games? Do like on either your Saturday, if that's your Sabbath, on Sunday, if that is your Sabbath, invite them over to your home for lunch. I love having people in my home. I feel like it is relaxing. It's not stuffy. It doesn't feel just awkward like sitting in a restaurant. The kids can go play. It just kind of makes things less stressful, if you will. And so just start inviting people into your home. Weekends are great for that. And I think that the more that you kind of start doing that, you will easily start to build your community. Jean M. Smith 60 says, I just discovered your videos and I love them. I'd be interested to know your background, like do you work, kids, hobbies, etc. I'm sure all of your oldies know this information, but it would be nice for us newbies, LOL. Yeah, so I used to work. I used to work in the hospital before I had kids. Well, even before I was in the hospital, I worked in doctor's offices. I ran doctor's offices in North Carolina. And, well, when we were in Florida, I worked in HR. And then when we went to North Carolina, I ran doctor's offices. And then from there, I moved into the OR. And I did that up until Christian was born in 2006. And after that, I didn't go back to work. That was always our plan, was when we started having babies that I would stay home with them. I did some decorating, some bigger projects after Christian was born. And then when Chloe came along, there just wasn't really all that time. Plus, we homeschooled both of our kids in Texas. They did not start going to an actual school until we moved to Denver. And so that's kind of my work history. And then what was the other part of that? I told you about my kids. Yes, I do have 2 kids. My son Christian just turned 13 in July, and then my daughter Chloe turned 11 the end of September. And my hobbies, decorating and organizing and planning. Again, sound totally lame. And that's all she asked. Darlene234 says, any chance of a closet tour? I would love to see how you organize that. If you have already done one, I apologize. I did do one in our Denver house. The last house that we were in before we moved here, the one that we totally gutted and remodeled and then got the call like 2 months later. I do show a closet video in that video. I go through everything that I used to organize. I did a purge in that video. I show how, I set up my drawers, how I organize my clothes and all of that. We actually just finished doing some things in our closet, and so my video for this house and this closet is coming. So yes, I will do that, but in the meantime, if you want to go back and watch that video, you can. Jenster's Bubble says, hi, what brand of flameless candles do you prefer? I'm shopping now. So honest to goodness, I don't care as long as they are somewhat affordable. I'm not going to break the bank on, candles. I'm just not. So a lot of times I get mine from Ross. I have found some really good deals, which I can link those down below, for ones that I have purchased on Amazon that have a remote that you can just kind of walk around the house and set to. Those actually, the ones that I got on Amazon, they have the little flame that flickers, so it appears, from a distance that it's a real candle. So those I probably like a little bit more. But honestly, I mean, anything, as long as it's not expensive, I'm good with that. Stacy D0765 says, you use timers on a lot of things. Can you show what kind you buy and how they work? Sorry, I've never used them, but would like to, especially with Christmas decor. And then she also has a part 2 to that question. I don't really have a brand of those either. I just buy whatever Target or Walmart has, either throughout the year or at Christmas time. A lot of times at Christmas, they'll knock them down a little bit less, just because they're trying to get rid of all of that stuff. But again, they're super duper easy. You just, push down, it's like a clock face, and then you just push down the little things according to when you want your lamp or light or, Christmas tree, whatever, to go off. Friends, it is so easy. It is not hard at all. But again, I don't have a brand. I buy whatever is there. She also says, what is your go-to breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Your favorite that you like to make more than other meals? So we do a lot of soups around here. We love soup. I can pair it with bread, whatever. It's super duper easy. I can put it in the crock pot, which we have had a lot of soup lately because my kids have been in fall sports. They both just finished up last week. And so I have been just, working the fire out of my crock pot. But pretty much any kind of soup. We're not really picky. We do a lot of chili. We do a lot of vegetable soup. We do a lot of potato. My kids love potato soup. If I had to say which one did they like more, it would probably be potato soup. That's kind of their favorite. My favorite go-to breakfast, I make these, they're little kind of egg muffin things. So I make them in a muffin tin. It's egg and a tiny bit of Bisquick with red peppers, green peppers, and little jalapenos. And I just mix all of that stuff up and put them in the muffin tins, bake them, and we eat those during the week. I freeze them so that I have them always on hand. Super duper easy. Lunch, I love tuna salad or chicken salad. So I do that a lot with avocado. And then dinner, like I said, we do a lot of soups and crock pot things during the week just because life is crazy. If you have kids in school, if you have one in one section of school and then another in another section, you're constantly running because nothing is ever at the same time. And so for us, whatever makes life a little bit simpler, that's okay with me. Wanda Marie 71 says, I would be interested in your favorites from foods that you like to make to favorite shows, music, books, etc. And if you have enough things to do an Amazon favorites video. And what is your go-to makeup? I know that you posted a makeup video a while back, but an updated one would be fun to watch and tell the favorite items that you like to use. I enjoy your channel on YouTube and here as well. So yeah, I can totally do that. I actually have a favorites video coming up. I'm hoping to film it this coming week. I'm crossing my fingers that I can get that done because I do have a lot of things that I want to show you guys, mostly all from Amazon because friends, I cannot stand going into the store. It takes forever. Plus, I see things that I don't even need that I convince myself at the store that I've needed forever. And so on Amazon, it's just easier to go in and get what I need. They bring it to my house. I don't have any impulse buying, although let's face it, you can do impulse buy on Amazon, but it's not as easy. So yes, I would be happy to do a video on my Amazon favorites, on my makeup video, because my makeup routine is a little bit different now than it was in that video. Amy9380 says, since you move often, do you find it hard to make friends? How do you go about doing that? I already answered that. Stua2121 says, what is your workout routine if you have one, and meal prep or healthy meals that you cook for your family? I run. I love to run. For me, it's just a huge stress reliever, and so I do that. I try to do that at least 3 times a week. I would like to do 4, but if I'm being honest, sometimes it's just hard for me to do that over things that I need to get done. Healthy meals that you cook for your family, and do you meal prep? Yes, I meal prep. I cut everything up. I do everything on Sunday. That way it is ready and I don't have an excuse to drive through somewhere. And then healthy meals, I've gone off of keto. I'm sure somebody's asked that down below because I remember seeing it as it was coming through on the day that I asked this question. So I'll wait for them to answer that. But we do just basically whole foods now. We don't eat a lot of meat. We eat a lot of vegetables, grains, just things like that. Things that basically appear the way that God created them to look. And so that's what we do. mstyle74, Amazon favorites or planning for the holidays would be fun. Yes, again, Amazon favorites is coming. Holiday planning videos are coming. I just kind of finalized all of my lists at the end of last week, and so I have all of those ready to go. I'm just trying to figure out how I want to schedule them out for you guys so that it's not super duper overwhelming. Paelpn, Paelpn, I hope I said that right. Cleaning videos, or routines. Yes, I am going to be doing a video on that. I finally have all of my zones, so I do zone cleaning. And I finally have all of my zones figured out for this house, and so I will definitely do that. Debbie M3 says, how you met your hubby, ministries that you've served in, how and when your walk with the Lord began, what you typically eat in a day, your childhood or teen years. Okay. So how I met my husband in college. I was a freshman, he was a junior, although I had known his brother since 6th grade, but never ever knew that he existed because his brother lived in another state. But with the Seventh-day Adventist Conference, there's different sections of it. It's all one conference, but what I mean by that is Kansas, Nebraska kids always got together, Iowa, Missouri kids always got together, then you have the Rocky Mountain Conference. And so because they also lived in Nebraska and I was in Lincoln, all of the Nebraska and Kansas kids always got together for different like youth rallies and things like that. And so his brother is my age, and so we were always in the same age bracket in the same groups. But it wasn't until college that I realized that Sam even existed. Ministries that you've served in. So I have been in MOPS. I have always been very active in my community. I am a praise singer, pretty much have been everywhere that we've lived. I love singing for church. And now it's really fun because I have my kids also singing with me, so that is super awesome. I'm always very active in my kids' school. I try to be present wherever I can as far as that is concerned. I have done Bible studies both in my home and at my church. And my friend and I are just getting ready to start a women's Bible study at our church here. So that's kind of where I've served. How and when your walk with the Lord began. I have always loved Jesus ever since I can remember. It has never been a question for me. I don't want to sound cheesy or goody two-shoes, but I've never considered walking away from God. He has helped me through too many things, and frankly knows too much about me to walk away from him. But I just can't imagine my life any other way. I don't know. He's my friend. I talk to him constantly, and I just can't imagine him not being there. For me, it's easier for me to believe in him than to not believe in him, because at the end of the day, I would rather have believed in something that wasn't real than to not believe in something that was, and have that work out that way. So I don't know. For me, it's just never been something I've considered, even in the darkest of dark moments. It has never been something I've considered not doing. What do you typically eat in a day? I just answered that. Your childhood, teen years. I don't really know what that's asking. I guess maybe where I grew up. I don't know. I'll answer it like that, and if it's not, then I'm sorry. My childhood and teen years, so I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska. Again, I am Seventh-day Adventist, always have been. What that means is my Sabbath is from Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown. And in between that time, we don't work, we don't mow our yard, we don't go shopping, things like that. Not because we can't, but because we choose not to. Because it's just a day of fellowship and rest. Like the Bible says, take time, stop, rest, breathe, and then start back up again. Our bodies are not built to just run 24/7, 7 days a week. It's biblical that we need to stop and intentionally breathe. Not just, Okay, and now I'm on to the next thing. So Sabbath for us is something that we look forward to. It is rest, it is relaxation, it is peace, it is time with friends and family and fellowship, and it is so amazing. And so you'll see on my Instagram every once in a while, I'll post things about just taking time to breathe and stop. So that's a little bit about my childhood and how I was raised, and where I was raised. So I hope that's answering your question. Jessica Walker Quillin, Quillin, says, I'm curious about how you implement a keto diet while also cooking for your family. Are there certain keto-friendly meals that you all eat, or do you make separate meals? I'm always looking for ways to improve my diet, but I've never tried keto. Any insights would be great. So, yes, I tried to implement as much as I could when I was doing keto for my family. I would eat more of the fat than my family would. I would kind of section that off because, frankly, my kids didn't need to be eating keto. I have since, however, quit keto. I did it for 5 months. I did lose weight, but I also got high cholesterol I went into the doctor two Fridays ago now, so it's been 2 weeks, and my cholesterol was high. It was like borderline, a little bit scary, and I've never had that in my entire life, and that is the only thing that I have changed. And so my doctor said, get off. I know there's so many studies around there, and I know I'm probably going to have people, come back and comment about how great it is, and that's totally fine. Everything works differently for everybody, and that's why this world is great, in that there are so many different options that we can choose from to implement into our lives to work for us. Things are going to work for me that aren't going to work for you, and vice versa. But for me, keto is just not something that I choose to do anymore, because I want to stay alive and I don't want to have a stroke. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually eating just basically whole foods. We eat grains, vegetables, fruits. We eat the rainbow, and that was suggested by my doctor to kind of implement that and exercise and call it a day. And so that is what we're doing. But yes, when I was doing keto, I would kind of section things out. And so I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Danny Lynn 32 says, tell us more about yourself, hobbies, favorite foods, favorite books, what kind of music do you like, what did you do before you became a mom, how did you meet your husband, what has been your favorite place to live, where would you like to travel? So I feel like I have answered every one of those questions except for the last one, where would you like to travel? I want to go to England, friends. I so badly want to go to England. It's been on my bucket list forever. I feel like those people are my people. I love listening to them talk. I love all of the king and queen and prince, and I feel like Megan and I could be like great friends. She doesn't know it yet, but I totally feel like we could. So that's where I would love to travel. Alvarez Ochoa, I hope I said that right. You have a nice sense of style for your home decor. As I was looking at your YouTube show segment on what assumptions people have about you and heard your responses, I thought that you have many of the values and standards of a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Yeah, so I just answered that in the question a little bit before. I'm not Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm actually Seventh-day Adventist. Find Lala Party of 6. Why are you saying goodbye to keto? I feel like I already answered that. Shanchill5 says, hi, last fall and winter you had fabulous intros to your videos. Did you create them? And if so, where did you learn such an amazing skill? So I just do it myself. I just kind of watched a few YouTube videos to figure out what to do, how to do it. I kind of copy and paste different things from Google, and I just go from there. I'm actually in the process of doing a new one to kind of take us into fall, and then one to take us into Christmas. I'm toying with the idea of doing Vlogmas, so if you guys are at all interested in that, then please comment down below the word Vlogmas. That way I will know that that's something that you would be interested in watching, and if I do it, I'm not wasting your time or my time. So, but yeah, I just use iMovie. It's on my Mac computer, and I just kind of basically wing it because, truthfully, I don't really know what I'm doing. I would like to get more knowledgeable about it, but honestly, I don't have the time really to do that right now. And so I'm just kind of going as I go and learning as I go. All right, so that is all of the questions that I have from Instagram. I am going to cut this video and then do a part 2 video to follow this up with all of the questions that you guys asked me on YouTube, because I also sent the question out to those of you who may not be following me on Instagram. And if you're not, I just encourage you to jump over there and follow and become a part of our intentional community on Instagram. I post there almost every day, and it's just a way for you to get to know me a little bit better outside of an edited video. I feel like it shows a little bit more of who I am, what I'm doing, and it's just a glimpse into my everyday life. Friends, if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, I would absolutely love it if you would join our community here on YouTube. We have lots of fun. I feel like I have met lots of you. We've talked back and forth, and it's just super fun. I feel like we learn so much from each other. You know, I always joke, it takes a village to raise an adult, and I'm so happy that you guys are part of my village here. But until next time, friends, I just encourage you to intentionally create a life that you absolutely love living and will not need a vacation from. I will see you in my next video, which is part 2 to your questions and answers.